Hey, what's up, y'all? This is former NASCAR driver Bill Lester.
Bob Cockers.
I'm NASCAR driver Natalie Decker.
NASCAR's Chief Hype Officer Mamba Smith.
And you're listening to Victory Lane.
Victory Lane.
Victory Lane.
Victory Lane Vibe.
Let's go.
376, Antron Brown is the Top Fuel champion.
Just praying for it. There it is. Raja Caruth wins it at Las Vegas. First career win, gets it done.
You stayed in the game, and it was just one step, one punch, one round at a time, and my guys had me a great stop, and we just executed. So there's more to come for sure.
His final time through 3 and 4. He's gonna do it. Bubba Wallace wins at Kansas.
What they gonna say now, baby? Let's go!
He is the man who raises the bar, who raises the stats, who takes things to stratospheric levels, and he's only got 3 corners now. He can see the crowd standing and giving him that round of applause. 8 times we've said it before. Here's a 9th for you. Lewis Hamilton wins the British Grand Prix. What a victory! Hamilton is back.
Yeah, do the intro because I have 2 quick stories to tell. We can, yeah.
There ain't no intro. We're live.
Okay,
I mean, I can still do it. I did it for the debate.
Well,
welcome to another live episode of Victory Lane Vibes. We are your
What
hosts with the mostesses. It's Jared. It's Art. It's Festive Carl with his background, and it's Blank Face Bonte.
Yeah, man. And I kept this background for a very distinct reason. I have a story to tell. So,
oh Lord, more car stories.
We're here to hold on. I'm not done yet. We're here to discuss the championship 4, more malfeasance with the 2311 FRM lawsuit, and some junior things, and a certain win that got awarded today, late in last minute. Jamal wants to know if you are going to speak wheel tonight because you don't have any respect on Emerson's name. And what's up, BJ? Welcome. All right, Carl, now you can tell your story. We can get them all later.
I talk about something else for like two seconds.
Talk about something else for 2 seconds. All right.
Well, I gotta pull up this video to celebrate real quick.
It can't just be a story.
No, it can't. Yeah, no, it can't because.
What do we celebrate?
We're celebrating. Hold on. Please, for the love of God, I gotta find this. Here we go. Hold up. Hold on.
8 years later.
It's not okay. Whatever. It's not. I can't pull it up for whatever stupid ass reason, and I'm really mad because there's that video of Oh, there it is. I found it. Okay. So me and Art were talking before everybody got here.
Oh,
this goes into, but before I just say anything else, I just want it to be known that
I don't know what this is.
I won the debate. So the votes are in. I won.
We're still counting. We're still tabulating. Florida ain't got back.
Did you rig the election?
Wait a minute. You got to add my. Hold on.
Ain't that a shame?
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
You asked for props to be added to the show.
Oh man.
Defamation of character.
All right, whatever. It's fine. But I did win the debate. And okay, hold on. I got to celebrate for a second. Hold up.
What's good in your car?
It's been a long time coming, but it finally came for Bun B to get his motherfucking shine in the game. I put my work in.
Okay, that's all I had. Anyway.
This is, you know what? Listen, this is not the first. This would not be the first time that logic and reason was trumped by charisma in this country.
Hey, man.
Almost just lost my MacBook.
Anyway, bro. So okay, so check this out. So the reason I brought up the debate thing was because I guess I didn't do that great of a job, which I still somehow won. And the reason that I won for the most part was because everybody voted show result. So the lesson in this is if you choose a stupid ass poll option, the person that wins the election might not be the person that deserved to win the election. I'm not saying I didn't deserve to win the election. I'm also not, but what I am saying is you shouldn't write in a candidate ever. But I will say that the other day, my girlfriend was like, yeah, so I listened to you guys' debate episode. And I was like, really? That's a hell of a first episode to listen to because you have no context at all. Like all the information you know about Alex Bones, what we presented to you. She's like, yeah. She's like, you were doing a really good job until the end where you were like, don't vote based on facts. And she was like, if I was anybody else to you, I would not have voted for you. And I was like, well, I appreciate it. So
wow.
Right. Yeah. Again, this is why you don't need to write in or choose a silly option because I'm not saying the wrong person won because I won, but
I am.
There's a lesson in that. The other thing is, this is even funnier. So the day prior to that, we went to Pride, and I had on the 2311 Pride shirt. Again, her contextual understanding of NASCAR to this point is that Bubba Wallace drives a 23 car, and at one point in time was sponsored by Dr. Pepper. That's it. And so I had that on, and she was like, "Oh, is that Bubba's team?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I got into explaining how the team came to exist, and I got into explaining the whole deal about B2B sponsors because I was explaining how like Litos, who is like a military contractor or whatever, is involved. And I mean, this in-depth conversation, which led to the conversation about charters. And again, I'm just putting it all out there. So I explain the charters, and then I make the comment. And because of charters, I don't even know if 2311 is going to be around next year. And so I then explained to her how NASCAR sent this chopped up agreement to the teams at 6 p.m. and they had to agree to it by the end of business. And that the agreement specifics were that, yeah, you guys get more money, but we get all of this other stuff on the back end. And then I explained to her, and I had not mentioned this thing to her at any point in time before this. And then I said, but even though they get more money, it's still rigged against them because NASCAR owns the majority of the tracks. So NASCAR in reality is getting 2/3 instead of 1/3. And she says, that sounds like a monopoly lawsuit. And I was like, wouldn't you believe that exact thing is happening right now? So my end all to be all, and that is, if somebody with no understanding of of this situation outside can be explained very little about it and go, yeah, they should sue NASCAR, I think they might actually be a little cooked. I don't know. I wasn't here for the charter episode, but I just, hey, want to put that information out there that, NASCAR, you might not have the public favor you think you do. So that's that.
I'm really mad. I almost lost my computer, and then you bring logic into the conversation.
What do you mean you almost lost your computer?
You didn't see me I cut my camera off because I almost spewed red Powerade.
Hey, man. I had to celebrate. I wasn't here last week. I had to celebrate. So I was at the state fair when y'all recorded.
We've moved on. We've all moved on.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You know what? If this is the sacrifice needed for a lesson to be shared for a much bigger debate, then this is a price I'm willing to pay.
You buy me another computer?
I'm talking about me losing the debate. I don't care about your laptop.
Yeah. Because there's look, I should not have probably lost the debate. I mean, you should have probably won that debate, but yeah,
I don't know. I listened to it back, listening to it back, audio only. You got cooked.
Yes, he did. Let's be
real. Well, what I said in the group chat and at that time was that, and I love Alex to death, is that I didn't have a whole lot to go off of.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's not like, yeah.
The audience is throwing tomatoes at you. Everybody knows you lost.
Jamal said, Carl, you didn't win, though.
Look.
We'll move on.
It's my 2015 championship win.
Let's move.
Noted.
On.
Noted.
Look at the
Now you got him started on the
what's up?
Thank you, BJ. I appreciate you.
So for this evening's events, let's talk Championship 4. So thanks to the aforementioned 40 car being cheated with no results being compiled, Joey Logano gets the golden ticket to the round of 8, punches his ticket to Phoenix. If you guys listen to our most recent episode, I said he's the favorite. He's more often than not probably going to definitely win, I think personally. And I didn't get to hear Carl's thoughts and opinions on Joey Logato's advancement to the Champ 4. So, Carl, what you think? Just whereas since Penske's won the last two, Joey's seemingly getting ready to go do his even year rain dance. Do you think this is considered to be a Mickey Mouse Championship, or is Hendrick really shooting themselves in the foot for floundering an opportunity to have 4 cars there?
Well, I mean, all in all, I think at the end of the day, Hendrick found an opportunity, and I don't. And they owe a huge apology to Alex Bowman, because for the team to come out and say, "Yeah, we messed up colossally," right? And we cost you guys a shot at the championship, and then you look at how Vegas played out, and that's an Alex Bowman style race as far as like. Could he have won that? You know what I mean? Like, with just how it panned out in the end. I mean, so yeah, I don't know, man. A lot of people said that you should not complain about Joey getting into the championship 4 because of X, Y, and Z reasons. I don't. My beef is just with the format. I mean, at the end of the day, because you have somebody. Here's the problem I have with it, right? And it's like, this isn't even coming from a place of like disliking Joey. Is you have somebody who, by the definition of the system that we're told all the time, like, it's not changing, shut up, accept it, love it, whatever. You have somebody who, by definition, was not good enough to move on. And so. And then they got the golden goose egg of saying, well, actually, because that car failed, you get to move on. And then now, they could very well win a title. And it's just like, how do you wrap that? You know what I mean? It's like, how do you gift wrap a basketball if it's not in the box, right? How do you put a bow on this in any way that doesn't seem a little bit illegitimate? You know what I mean? And so, because now a team that was not good enough through 3 races only has to worry about being good for 1. And they've got 2 weeks of prep for that. I'm not going to be comfortable with it at any point in time. There's no way you can spin this. And people tried to make comparisons to 2015, and there is no comparison to 2015, because the reality of it is like that happened outside of the playoffs. This happened inside of it, right? And as far as I will say is that, whatever happens outside is fair game. You know what I mean? And even then it's kind of whatever, but inside it's just like at that point, people even made a lot of comparisons to 2013 and them adding people and taking people out. Again, happening at the start or at the end of the regular season. Okay, I can kind of see, because you've got a long road to hoe still ahead, right? Like Kyle Busch missed those races. He still had to get through the entire playoffs to get to Homestead, right? So there's just no way to wrap this. And I don't know what could have been done differently. I guess they did what they had to do, but I don't know. I mean, just, yeah. So, I mean, but right now my only concern is that Penske having both cars in the Final Four. I think that they need to be all hands on deck. All the 22 guys, all the 2 guys need to be helping the 12 get in, because I think that he's at least been my favorite for the year, and he's been really good. And unfortunately, they're on the outside looking in right now, and I hate that. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if the streak of a non-Hendrick next-gen champion continues, and I guess that's all there is to say about it at this point. So,
Monte, you also were absent from this most recent recording. What are your thoughts?
It is what it is. I'm not
moving on. No,
I'm not finished. Thank you. I'm not mad at Joey. I mean, he did what he had to do. Won the race in championship 4. Just weird to me, like, this system sucks, man. Like, it makes no sense. Like, it makes no sense how you be 15th and then still manage the way to get in the championship 4 and everything too. the fact that he literally got back in it after Alex got DQ just for him about to win the championship, which is insane to me. This system's, I don't know. I think something need to be changed, but I already know they ain't gonna change. Yeah, it is what it is. But we move on, guys. Move on, I guess.
So, well, I guess I asked this question to both you and Carl, since you're both homegrown about this.
Right.
Why does the format need to change if a playoff driver was caught cheating? Is the system flawed, or what's the weight on the car flawed?
It doesn't need to change because somebody got caught cheating. It just needs to change because I'm just tired. I'm tired of having Game 7 moments in Game 1 affect actual Game 7 moments. If that makes any kind of sense, right? Like 100%. that's what is annoying. I'm fine with the chase. I'm fine with the playoffs in the system that we used to have. Look, you win and you're in. You're above, I don't know, 16th or 12th in points, whatever it was, and boom, everybody resets. If you've got a win, you get bonus points. Now you've got 10 weeks to do it all over again. To me, that's perfectly that's the only way to legitimize this because, again, I feel like people would legitimize 2020, 2015. Let's see, 20. What's another one? People 20 even last year. People argue about last year. Would have legitimized those championships, even though they are right. Chase Elliott did his thing. Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney did their thing. Is if they had to go for the whole 10 weeks, there is no reset. There is no you were on the cuff and you won and you advanced to the next round or anything like that. There is no, you have to be solid and the best of the best come out at the end of these 10 weeks. And that's it. And that, that's the only way I can look at it. So they got to be changed because of this. It's just a continuing sour note on the style of playoffs that you've got a guy again that just systematically was eliminated that now can get lucky on a late race caution and be a champion. When you got somebody like Kyle Larson who's won like 6 races this year. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just
one, you got to give Kyle a bit of an asterisk because he even missed a whole race. His points would be even higher if he had actually been there. I just want to jump in real quick and say, I feel like there's a lot of misplaced anger, and so I'm going to try to focus it. If you're someone who's been upset ever since the Roval, you should not be mad at Joey Logano. You should be mad at and I'm saying you. I'm just saying people who are mad at Joey Logano, you should not be mad at Joey Logano. You should be mad at the people who put the system in that allowed this to happen. Right. Because if the system was worth a damn, this wouldn't be the case. You wouldn't have somebody 15th in points going for a championship.
You want to know? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, you go ahead. I'll let you finish.
I was gonna say, and to Carl's point about they always talk about the Game 7 moments. Every championship isn't Game 7, right? I clearly can remember the Super Bowl where it was 43-8 or whatever it was with the Seahawks Broncos. Sometimes it's a blowout. Yeah. And you just have to accept that sometimes a team just runs through the field. And you just have to live with it. That's the authenticity of sports, is that sometimes someone's just better. That's why, I hear the complaints about Matt Kenseth's season all the time. And I'm he was just better than everyone else. To me, that shouldn't be a negative. If anything, we should praise them for being the best week over week in total. So I just want to point that. I just want to say, what's the Patrick meme where he's take this here and put it over here. I just want you to take all this anger at Joey Logano and put it towards NASCAR because they're the ones who made this system. And even if it was your favorite driver, a lot of it too, I think, is that if the 9 got back into the playoffs off of this, there'd be much less uproar, right? I think that the tenor of the conversation, I think, wouldn't be as hot. There'd still people complaining about it, and people like us that are grumpy purists who love a season-long championship. But Joey is probably the most polarizing figure in terms of the fan base. Left in the championship 8.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's crazy? Someone had pointed this out. Shout out to Dirt. He said this: anybody saying Joey shouldn't be in the playoffs must forget he was going to win Richmond until Dylan want to be a dickhead and wreck him.
I mean, like even if he made it to, even if he had got that Richmond win, like, can anyone sit here and say that he was better than the 11, the 12, the 20, the 5? Like, all of those guys have been better than him this year. And you know, like again, like I don't blame, I never blame the drivers for going out there and doing what's their job. Like, he's supposed to go out there and do exactly what he did and win and get into the situation. Like, he's working within the system he's given. And I always hate the argument. People are like, well, they knew the rules when they signed up for it. Like, it's such a lazy take to me, where it's like, oh, they knew the rules, so like that makes it fine. That means we can never criticize anything, right? What's the other meme? It's like, interesting, you participate in society and yet you're complaining about it. Like,
that is 100% any NASCAR discourse at this point in time, point blank period. It's like, well, if you complain about it so much and don't watch, it's like, you know.
So I'm just looking at like this playoff. Like, I've got this playoff bubble, or not bubble, bracket, whatever you want to call it, pulled up, and I'm just thinking about like who actually can beat him, because like I said on our episode, like they're the kind of the clutch. Penske's kind of the clutch team.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at it, and honestly, the only person I feel like that can beat him is C. Bell. Like, he's really, really good at Phoenix. I know Bonte is probably happy to hear that, but I just don't see.
Shut up, bro.
I mean, you would hope that they learn from their mistake. So I just don't see anybody else that can go in there. Like, do I really think Reddick or Denny or Chase can go into Phoenix and beat him, or the 24? Like, not really. The 24 has kind of been on a free fall for like since the second half of the summer when mid.
Outside the 5, like the closest that could beat Joey in Phoenix, to be honest. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's a toss. I mean, and I mean, I don't know. You want to talk about who you think is gonna make it, or
well, before that, since everybody wants to get their, feathers ruffled about the playoff system, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Grab a piece of paper, and I want you to write down how you change the chase for the Cup.
I don't even need 5 minutes.
If this playoff system is so bad, then I want you to spitball your idea of how to make it better.
I'm gonna tell you my idea.
I'll give it to you right now.
Right.
All right. Well, let
Go ahead, Bonte.
How I do the chase, like playoff wise?
How would you, if you have such strong feelings against the current playoff format, how would you change it to be better?
Okay. I'll take Phoenix. I'll put Homestead back in. We can keep the elimination race. That's fine. But this is out to the playoffs. I'll do this instead. Keep the 16 drivers in. Take the win you're in out. Take it out. Only use the win you're in the playoffs. And Ozzy put your weight in, but I'll take the win you're in. Before that, I'll take it out. Take it out because it's a little unfair. Hell, you see what happened with Harrison Burton and Chase Briscoe. It literally screwed Bubba, Chris Buescher, and Ross out of the playoffs because of this. Take that out. Have 16 drivers score points. If you top 16, you made the playoffs. The crown jewel race is double points. Twice the points. The championship race out through 3. Instead of 1, it'd be 3 races. I'm pick a track. You could say Kansas, home, Martinsville, Homestead. That's the round of that's the round of 4. Last race.
That corn gonna be frozen as hell. What you mean?
Kansas.
November? God bless.
Yeah, that race might cook though. That race might cook.
NASCAR races literally like. I mean, they literally race at home like the end of November. It's nothing new. But that's how I do.
Kansas.
Well, Kansas guy.
The Midwest is.
I mean, to give Bonte credit, the Bristol spring race was so much fun because it was 30 degrees colder than what they anticipated with that tire.
Yeah.
So if you do have a frozen tundra 1.5 mile race, that might be fantastic. Team Chaos, right? That might be amazing.
It might be, but I like that tire at Bristol. I like that tire experience at Bristol. I don't know if I like it at Kansas.
Yeah,
it's a lot faster at Kansas.
Yeah.
But I hear you. I hear you.
Mm-hmm. All right,
so
that's Sabante said change the races in his format. He would get rid of the winning your end before the postseason, keep it for the last 10 races.
Yeah, basically highlight the NBA, NFL shit. How they be doing? I like that.
Okay. All right. That's an idea. Amongst you, who wants to go first? I guess since Carl won the debate, he gets first right of refusal.
Yeah, there you go. When you ask this question, do I have to keep it like the playoff style or like there's multiple rounds?
You are in charge of the playoff system.
Okay.
You've been promoted to change it.
Yeah, so 100% go back to the way it's been. I mean, first of all, I would say I wouldn't. I guess now with the charter thing, you kind of have to do 16 because there's 32, 34, 36 charter teams. So you kind of gotta keep that open arm there. So I guess keep the 16. Wins count as 5 extra points. And like I said, I mean, when we get to whatever race, we don't. There's no winning you're in, and whenever we get to whatever race starts the playoffs next year, I don't know what it would be. You line them all up. Everybody resets at 5,000 points, and then the wins that you have and the stage wins that you have get totaled onto that. I guess you'd have to kind of clip the stage wins too a little bit. I don't know, but you'd have to edit those values. I guess I don't know exactly, but I mean, they get added to your total. And then you get 10 weeks from there. And whoever, comes out on top, I guess, wins. I kind of feel like 16 is a little much. I don't know. What's the deepest somebody's come in the playoffs starting out to win the title?
I feel like they've all been in the top 8.
Yeah, they've all been in the top. Yeah, so, I mean, the field size can't matter, I guess, in reality. But, I mean, I would even realistically – this is just being a pure, I keep wanting to say Puritan, but this isn't the Crucible. I keep wanting to say, but to be pure, I would love for it to go back down to like 12 or 10. Well, the 10 and then the 2 wild cards, which are guys that have wins that are outside of the top 10 in points, so you get 12 total. I feel like that's probably one of the premium formats. I don't want to do this. One race decides the champion thing anymore. I don't want to do this best of 3 races for the rounds anymore. I'm over it. I'm done with it. Whatever, so.
All right. So for me, it's both simple and complicated. So one, I'm totally not doing. You say you got to keep 16. I say to hell with that. I'm making the rules. I'm God, King, Emperor. I ain't doing that. We're doing 12, and they're lucky they got the 12 because I would really like to do 8, but I'm gonna be kind for the sponsors and say 12. It's only based off points. I don't care about no wild card, anything. Like you have to show up week in and week out to make my playoffs. Agree, no winning in, like that's got to go. However, I would say that wins are 15 extra points over second place. So winning counts a lot, and there's a big incentive to try to win versus riding around. So I would make the gap between positions and points bigger. I don't have a full number in front of me because I didn't know Jared was going to ask this question until he said it. But the other thing I would do is I would bring back bonus points. So I want 5 points for leading a lap.
Yeah, 100%.
But I also want 5 points for winning the pole. And I want to take something from F1. I want 1 point for fastest lap of the race.
Absolutely.
Because I think those are valuable incentives. Yes. And I do think that there should be something for winning a pole. I feel like it's kind of weird to me how like that's outside of the pit road selection. That's never mattered. Anything else.
Because the shootout, it doesn't exist anymore.
Right. And you know what? And you know what else I might do, like just to shake things up, and because I want there to be a bit of less predictability, you get 5 points for the poll, but we're going to randomize pit road selection. So you can have those points, but you're not going to be guaranteed that number one stall every week, because I just feel like that's so predictable.
Yeah.
I like giving them a reward, but you might get it, but you've got a 1 in 36 chance. So, if the guy 36 in standings wins that number one stall, maybe you go over there and try to sweet talk him into, giving it to you or something. I feel like that would make every race so much more dynamic versus I know if there's a late pit stop that chances are whoever got the pole is going to come out first. So I'd do that. I would keep the stage points, but I would totally get rid of stage cautions. That is my one.
Oh yeah.
Like the closest to reality change that I would do for NASCAR is just get rid of the stage cautions, because they just kill the race. They kill the strategy. So I would have that. And then after 26 races, the points would reset. So you get, bonus points for wins, for poles. So the points would reset, but I'm not doing rounds. I'm not doing a one-off race. You got to go out there and earn it. You got to outdrive those other 11 guys and girls. So I'm all about just having, because I do see the appeal. And the crazy part is, as much as we hate the playoffs, and I hate the playoffs, the closest they came to nailing it was the first one, the 04 one, where they just shrunk the gap and rolled with it. Is when they gamified it, that's what made it much worse. So I just want the closest to pure that you can get. I'm willing to make some concessions for the sake of excitement, but if you're good enough that you can run away in those 10 races, then you earned it. But likewise, since wins count more, you could see like a Tony Stewart win a bunch of races in the playoffs and make that gap up. But you got to win them, and you got to be fast. You got to lead laps. You can't ride around. You got to try and go out in qualifying and really earn it. Qualifying would be on TV if they gave points out for the pole, right? Like someone pointed out, like there's no practice in qualifying on TV at all this weekend. Like if there were points given out, you'd watch it. Like we'd all watch it.
Yeah.
So that would be mine. Top 12, no one in, you're in. Give out way more points. No stage cautions. The points reset, but then it's just straight racing. And if you clinch it with 3 to go, then hey, God bless. Like you can have it. We'll have the trophy engraved for you when you get there.
Yeah, straight
up. To Homestead, I should add. To Homestead. I ain't doing Kansas. I ain't doing Vegas. Homestead is where it should be. So that's mine.
All right. Well, while you all were giving your think pieces, I guess I can kind of give my version. My Lord and Savior, Dale Jarrett, his Winston Cup championship in '99.
DJ.
He had 4 wins that season. He also finished in the top 10, 29 out of the 34 races. And he finished in the top 5 in 7 consecutive races. So I'm going to steal from both people's ideas. So instead of there being like a 10 race playoff, I'm going to do something different. So we're going back to Winston Cup points, like the whole shebang bang for the first half of the season, the first 18 races, where it's Winston Cup style. I sort of like the last 10 races playoff. So the next 8, you have them bringing back like the No Bull 5 or how they do with the Xfinity with the drivers that can win extra money. But I'm taping up the cards when we win extra points, because obviously with the Winston Cup fashion, you can point your way into the playoffs. But if you're one of the bonus cars that week and you win, you get some extra points. Debunking stage caution, stupidest thing in the world. I'll still award the points, but we're not stopping the race. We're just gonna keep going.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
just silly. That's just silly. But I think that there's a way that if NASCAR treats the sport as a sport and not as an entertainment thing, you can sort of, I feel like, and the main reason why I asked is just to hear y'all's collective ideas, just to see, well, how would you fix it if it was up to you? Just because I feel like you see a lot online that people are like, oh, I hate this. This is stupid. Well, what's your better idea? And I just feel like you can take a bit of piece of one person's thing. You can really make the playoff format truly great. Everybody, you can, it doesn't have to be like the Super Bowl, but the playoffs in the NBA, it's 7 games. In NHL, it's 7 games. In hockey, and in baseball, it's 7 games. Consistency should breed championships like it used to be. And if you don't have TV partners that agree with that, NASCAR just built that whole brand new broadcast station in Charlotte. Just do it yourself. Make the sport the way you want to, so you don't have to to sell out to the man. Do it how you want it. And that's probably how you attract more fans and people and sponsors and all the stuff that you're currently losing, because it's the same old thing. Like Sunday, it's gonna be the same old thing.
Yeah, and you know what's so frustrating is like these are not hard changes to make. I think that everybody would almost be on board with them. I think they would be met with a resounding sort of, you know, positive, you know, reception. I think, you know, the drivers and the teams and the fans, you know, because it's like something like this is like, it's only going to get, you know, the new fans like once. And then like the following season, like when their favorite driver has like an Alex Bowman situation happen to him or you know, just whatever, they're going to be like, oh, actually, no, I hate this. You know, you know, like I said, the playoffs were cool in 2014. You've got that moment with Ryan Newman and Kyle Larson, you know, knocking Jeff Gordon out last lap at Phoenix, you know, and it's like, wow, we would have never seen that any other time. And then like you fast forward to a year later and you've got, you know, you're at Talladega. Race is supposed to have been over from caution. It's not. Kevin Harvick's blowing up under caution, wrecks the field, and the championship 4, as I discussed it on the TL, was relatively permanently altered because of that. You're like, wow, this is actually a really dumb format. So that's what's so frustrating. And that's, you know, I mentioned earlier that I explained to, you know, my girlfriend about the charter system. It's so frustrating that we have this faux RTA deal, right? Which is like, there's supposed to be a panel of teams that like they can, you know, vote on things for the better of the sport. When obviously that just simply is not the case. It was presented to us as the case, but it simply is not, because everybody has spoken about they're tired of this format, and you know they'd be okay with going back, but somehow we haven't made that change, and that's why it's so frustrating, and that's why guys like me and Art are like, it is so hard to commit to coming back year after year, because it's like everybody is on board with where the sport should go now. 10 years ago, that was not the case. That's what created the playoff system. Keep that in mind, right? We came off 2013. Jimmy Johnson won his fifth title, and we were just like, what do we got to do? You know, or was that his sixth? That was his fifth.
That was his fifth in 2010, yeah.
Yep. No, 2013. That was the sixth.
Oh, that's the sixth.
We came off 2013 prior to the playoff system. People were like, what do we got to do, man? You know, we got lucky. We got 2 years of not having the Johnson title. And so, but it's like now everybody's like, okay, what we wanted, we didn't know was going to suck. We want to go back. And it's just like, no, we're going to keep going the other way. You know, right. I wouldn't be surprised if we go to Daytona for media week next year, and they say, actually, there is no playoffs anymore. If you win a race, whoever wins races in these, the playoff is open to everybody. And if you win a race in the last 10 races in these rounds, it just, you know, basically they open the playoffs up to all 36 charter teams. And if you win a race, you're into the next round and whatever. So if we have 8 winners, you know, I mean, not 8 winners. If you got, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't surprise me at this juncture. And it's very frustrating. It's very maddening. And, like, that's legitimately where, like, the desire to be like, fuck it, I don't want to watch this anymore comes from. So,
yeah.
You know.
I mean, I think the problem is that, like, not race control, but NASCAR corporate, like, they're really just chasing the dragon in terms of, like, growing the sport. So, like, a long time ago, I worked for this company and I worked in marketing, and they were like, oh, hey, we want to go viral. Can you push the viral button on this Instagram post and get us? And I was like, that's not how it works. And I feel like they keep doing that. Like, they keep trying to push the viral button to grow the sport. And I feel like, yeah, like the Newman incident, you know, I think about Kenseth knocking out Logano, you know, like that was a super viral. Even if you go to the Hail Melon with Ross, right? Like,
yeah, right.
Those are, and like that Sunday after that Sunday night, like that was on Sunday Night Football. Like at halftime, they were talking about it, and ESPN. It's all they talked about. And what did it do for the ratings? It didn't move the needle, right? The problem is that they have the same mentality of, well, we just need enough viral moments and we'll grow the sport. But that's not how you grow. It's the same thing in marketing, right? Like you have to produce quality content week after week, month after month, year after year. Like the reason NASCAR became a household name was not because of the viral moments, right? Like we didn't learn who Dale Sr. and Richard Petty and Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin, all these names like in the 80s and 90s, and even in the early 2000s before the playoffs. Like we didn't learn about them because they they had a crazy win or they wrecked somebody. It's because they went out there and they beat the field's ass every week. Like that's how you build up someone. That's how you make someone a star. And like when you have a credible system that people can trust, they can depend on, like, the old pre-chase format, right? Everyone could understand it. You could explain in one sentence to someone and they got it. Now, like you try to explain to people and they're like, like even I have trouble explaining it to them because they're like, okay, so what if you, I'm like, well, you get these points, but then you also get playoff points. And like those points don't really matter, but the playoff points stay. And then if you go to the next round, playoff points roll over, but it resets and then they adjust. It's way too much. And it's just, if you want to grow it in a healthy way, that's how you have to do it. You have to put in a good product week in and week out that people can trust and depend on. And this system has shown us anything but, and it's just not going to get better. Like we've seen at this point, like we've done this long enough to know as a collective group of fans of the sport, like it's not working. Yeah. So like you have to be willing to cut your losses at some point, but getting this group of people to admit they were wrong is not an easy task. And, they'll get, and I guarantee you, like, we'll get to Martinsville and someone will get wrecked or someone will get moved at Homestead and it'll get, 500,000 likes across social media. And then no one watches the race at Phoenix. Like, okay, cool. Yeah. Or like no one watches past Daytona, right? Like everyone will watch Daytona, but no one watches Atlanta week 2. Because they're like, okay, cool. Thanks. We'll see you. Bye.
Well, and not for nothing too, but I think the other part of it is, as far as all that goes, 2 things. Number one, like trying to adopt stick and ball playoffs, right? Stick and ball sports playoff style does not work in racing. And when I try to explain to people like the playoff system, right? Like they're like, oh, like how football or whatever, and I'm like, well, yeah, but again, like what you're saying, like there's all of these like rules to it that don't exist. Like imagine, we're in the World Series right now. Like imagine, like in baseball, if the teams that were like entering the semifinals for the World Series or whatever, if like a team like lost, like if the Astros like they lost or whatever. But they had like and I'm just learning baseball, so please, stay with me on this. But they had, a 450 batting average over the team that beat them, and because they had the higher batting average, despite losing, they still got to advance on to, to win the ALS or whatever. I mean, it's like it doesn't make any sense, and you can't make it make sense. I don't know, man. It's the most insane shit ever, and it's like, when if you have a product and you have to struggle to explain your product, you've lost the plot. And also, I think that NASCAR, and no, I'm sure they will not. I know that the people involved at the top do not care. But to see how negatively perceived it was that when the V8 Supercar Series announced their similar format and how everybody was like, this is the worst thing ever, that should probably tell you, like, okay, we've got to revisit this, because when people try to copy us, even they're getting heat. You know what I mean? So anyway.
All right, chat. Vote which host playoff idea you like the best. Do you like Art's? Do you like Bonte's? Do you like Carl's? Mine?
Vote for me.
Or let's not say we did.
Anyway.
All right, moving on. Next topic. So we already know the horse has been beaten, that Joey Logano is going to fight for a championship. To the other 7 suitors or competitors in this last round before Phoenix, who else locks up the last 3 spots?
I'll go first. Definitely Christopher Bell. Like, say, I don't know why you made that face for it. Man's been consistent, like, in the playoffs. Literally.
Yes.
Obviously, Kyle Larson.
Right.
Yeah, can't get by him. Dude, also another consistent driver. And I'm gonna get his last one, Danny Hamlin. I think he'll get the last spot in the championship for, in my opinion. Yeah. So those are my picks.
All right.
So besides Logano, I say Larson. I think that's kind of a given at this point. Like I expect him to virtually clinch on points after Homestead. Like he always runs really well there.
Mm-hmm.
And he won it at Martinsville this year in the spring, right? So like the one weakness he really had in this round was Martinsville, and like it seems like maybe he's gotten better at that place as well.
He won last year, Art. Ain't trying to cut you off. Well, Willie B won earlier.
Yeah, I'm about to say Byron won this year. Yeah, because that was the one consolation.
One of them.
That was the one consolation. The Hendrick 1, 2, 3, Bubba 4th was that it was William Byron.
Oh,
yeah.
Got it right. Ain't lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I see him. I think Bell gets in as well. Like he's got such a lead over the cut line that even if you had 2 new winners, I think he would make it. I just don't see Byron making it. I just don't have a lot of faith in that team right now. Like they just don't have had a lot of momentum. I know they had a good weekend at Vegas, but and same thing with Denny, but worse. Like because he's below the cut line. Like I just feel like Denny's kind of been in free fall like the whole second half of the season. Like they've just kind of run like trash, and they miss out on stage points. And like he said on his show this week, like he'll battle back and get a top 10, like finish 8th or 9th, but it's like finishing 8th or 9th isn't good enough at this point in the game. Like you can get by against the Harrison Burtons and the Chase Briscoes of the playoffs finishing there, but like at this point, like all of these guys are pretty much in the top 10. The one guy I think below the cut line that makes it up is I feel like it's gonna be Reddick. I feel like he wins at Homestead this week. I think last week wrecking the way they did, it's a really bitter taste in his mouth, and the fact that they've been so bad during the playoffs despite being so good in the regular season. He's my pick to win at Homestead. I say that clinches him in, and then maybe Bell or Larson win at Martinsville, or they just point their way in. But I mean, 27 points at this stage, it's not insurmountable, but again, like, do you really see them pointing their way that far back? If you're Denny, and if you're Ryan, it's even worse, right? You're 47, and Chase. I mean, like those two have to win. So that's who I'd go with. I think Joey, Seabell, Larson, and then Reddick. Reddick wins his way in.
I mean, y'all remember what happened to Kyle Larson last year at Homestead, right?
Yeah.
You think
I mean, I get that, but he's also plus 35. Like that's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, even if he finished last next week, he'd probably still only be a couple points out come Martinsville. So,
Carl.
Yeah, man, I would love to see 4 organizations at Phoenix. I would love to see Gibbs, 2311, Hendrick, and Penske. I would love to see Tyler Reddick win it all just because of the lawsuit thing. I'm so torn on this because in my heart, what I would love to see, what I feel like is very possible, is you've got Joey locked in, Larson's on points, Reddick goes out, they win next week, and then Blaney goes back to back on Fall Martinsville, and that sets the Final Four, right? I feel like that's in an ideal world what I would love to see, and I feel like it can happen. But part of me also knows that it's the things I want to happen would actually happen to 2 different things. So put that in the back pocket, and if it happens, I can say I told you so. But besides that, I would say the 22, the 20, the 5, and the 12. Well, no. Yeah, I still say above all else, I think Ryan wins Martinsville. I don't know. I just feel like that's a race that they can win. I feel like they've been there before. I don't know. I mean, the other thing too is that Hendrick was so dominant. They've been dominant all the short tracks this year. Actually, been very good. So who's to say like Chase doesn't show up with the 24's car from that race earlier in the year, and they just have the parts swapped over. So I don't know, man. It's tough, but yeah, I guess I'm gonna stick to my first take, and I'm gonna say Joey, Kyle Larson, Reddick winning this weekend at Homestead, and then Blaney winning Martinsville, and that's your final four. So it's what I feel in my heart. And I hate that for Denny Hamlin, because there is a time this year where, I felt like that this was his year. And it started at Atlanta where they were just like, oh, I'm just hanging out so I don't get caught in a wreck. And it's like, look where you're at now. So I don't know. But.
Yeah. They just have been really dog food since the summer, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm looking at his finishes now. Like, he was super hot, Dover, Kansas, Darlington, Charlotte, St. Louis. But then it's 38th, 24, 24, 12, 32nd, 32. Like, there's another 38, a 24, 23 in here. Like, they just have not had, like, and they've been fast. Like, I'm not going to act like they've been terrible, but they just have not had the top 5 level of finishes that they need to have in order to bank those points. And again, like, yeah, any given Sunday at this point, with the way the playoffs are, like, he can easily come back and win. Like, he could win either of these races, and I would not be shocked at all. And I'm rooting for him too. Like, I want him to, but I worry about, like, I think the momentum thing is real, and I think when the driver starts making consistent mistakes, like he did at Vegas, the pit crew is making mistakes. The strategy calls that they made were very scared, right? Like, they just seemed like they were just trying to, like, hang around and be there at the finish versus attacking, which when they're at their best, that's what they do. Like, they're on offense, that team. I feel like they've gotten in their own head. Now maybe if they come back out and are fire, that would be amazing, but I just don't see them turning it around at this point. I think the curse and the choke talk, I feel like it has to start to get at them, because they're all human, right? Like, they all know it. They all know the expectation was to win a title. And when you're the favorite the first half of the season, and then all of a sudden you're just another guy, like, there's no reason to think like those thoughts don't start creeping up in the back of your mind. So I hope they don't, but
I do want to say, because I find myself in this situation every year for the last 10 years, when we get to this part of the playoffs, as much as I hate it, it does do a really good job of adding anxiety to who could be the champion, because you start to have conversations, and every year it's been like this for me, which is like, you've got 8 guys going for 4 spots, 4 going for 1. And realistically, I think over the course of, since I've been watching the sport for 20 plus years, I think every year you can narrow the title hopes down between 6 to 8 guys any given year anyway, regardless of format. It's that statistic, like, usually there are 6 to 8 guys that are going to be contending for a title over the year anyway. So I will say, for all that I hate the system for, we do get to this part in the year where it's like, damn, man, you've got some great guys that are on the outside looking in. You've got some guys that have gotten hot that are on the inside, like, looking out, and you've got some guys that have been hot all year long. And so I guess in a way it does a good job of, I guess, putting talent on a pedestal, maybe, despite us talking about Logano. But yeah, man, it's tough. And I've said every year the last couple of years, like last 3 or 4, like, man, this is probably one of the most stacked Final Fours we're going to have in a while. And I mean, it has been, looking over the last couple of years. So I don't know, man. Because like Art said, if Denny Hamlin goes out and wins next weekend, would not surprise me. If Chase Elliott and the 9 somehow manage to rally a win in the next 2 weeks because of that Hendrick magic, wouldn't surprise me. If the 9, the 11, and the 24 are just racing for owners championships come Phoenix, 9, 11, 24, or 45, or however you want to, whatever, it wouldn't surprise me either. So I don't know, man. Like I said, it's interesting for sure.
Wonderful. Our next topic, Dale Earnhardt Jr. unveiled his late model for Florence with the iconic 8, the iconic Budweiser scheme, and my credit card is still smoking from all of the merch that was released. What are you guys' thoughts on him bringing back? Ironically, I mean, I wouldn't say ironically, but arguably is the word I was looking for, the most noticeable paint scheme in all of NASCAR.
I go that greatness, man. Like that got me so hyped when I found out that Budweiser and the font was coming back and literally putting on the car was fantastic. I'm pretty much gonna be broke after this after I get all the shirts and diecast and stuff. But one of the most iconic schemes from years. Hell, I text my boy Chance. I'm like, hey, you got one the junior diecast? Got the iconic 8? He's like, yep. Iconic red? Yep. Could buy that. But remember he won Martinsville. Carl, if you remember this.
What's up, bro?
How many laps Dale Jr. was down before he ended up come back and finish third?
What you talking about? 2014 or no? This
2004.
2004. Oh Jesus, hell.
Or either no, I think it was 06. One of those 2 years. Remember, he had an accident early in the race.
I feel like that.
You're talking about the Martinsville with the fender.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Gordon,
he was like
Gordon had one in that time frame also, and I confuse the two all the time. I think
Gordon's
was like 05 when he came back from like being like 3 laps down and won.
That was 3 laps down. He came back 3 laps down under green. I think Junior was like, I want to say it was 4 or 5 laps. I want to say it was a substantial comeback, I would say.
Yeah, came back and finished third in our rec scheme.
Yeah.
Him winning the 04 Daytona 500. What else? Richmond in 06. Scheme is beautiful at the end of the day, especially on the COT. I'm so glad it's back, and I'm so glad that he gets to use that font for the car he uses. That's also fantastic. I also wonder if they're going to use that font in his Xfinity car in the future.
He said he doesn't plan to.
There
was some audio or there was some tweet about say they don't have any plans to right now.
Okay. Maybe like in the future. Sure, who knows? But I'm hyped for it, man.
Yeah, BJ, that's the other part of it. I couldn't remember the year, but I do remember the track tearing up in 04 because that was like one of the longest Martinsville races I think I can remember in recent history. But BJ was right; it was 04 that the Gordon thing happened. So I guess the junior thing had to be either 05 or 06.
I looked it up; it was 06.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. I guess I'll go next. It's cool, man.
Don't steal Bonte's answer. That's his gimmick.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
No, I mean it is iconic.
W bro.
Yeah, W bro for real. It's not Corey LaJoy. No. No, I mean I like a few months ago I tweeted out that was it Impala or Monte Carlo that was on like 28. So it banged. We did like 5K lights on that or something like that. I mean, like that scheme is iconic. My barber's changed shops now, but I've gone to the same barber since like the 6th grade. I mean, so from the time I was 11 to 12 or 12 to I'm 31 now, and he was in the shop. He was in that same shop for about a good 15, 16, 17 years, and there was one of the inflatable Bud 8 cars that you got at the liquor store, or the liquor stores had that set up in the corner next to the TV. This is a black barbershop in the heart of Little Rock, and people talked about it. They knew about it. As a matter of fact, I remember when he left the 8, like that was big news. I was in the barbershop and they were talking about that, and they were talking about that day. So that number, that jacket. I mean, and if you went to, I'm gonna just say this, and I ain't trying to be funny. If you went to like a black middle or high school in the mid 2000s, it was like 3, 4, 5 cats that had the Bud 8 jacket. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it was that hot. Even people that did not follow, and I said the people that had no earthly idea about NASCAR knew about the Bud 8. So I say to say this: I've been watching those HD races from 07, 08 that have been uploaded. It's this guy Vody on YouTube. Y'all go check him out. He's doing the Lord's work. Every 07 race I watch, first half of the race, Junior's got a car that can win it. Second half of the race, the car's in the truck already. So, for that, I mean, that's what was happening. They weren't wrecked and they were blowing up. So I say this, they to build that iconic imagery together, that branding, and to go out the way that they did. They, as the kids say, they went out sad. So for him to be able to have this reunion after all this time with Budweiser, with that 8, the scheme is not the exact same. From my understanding, they can't use the E again, but which is fair. And whoever's decision it was, somebody on Twitter was the designer, and they chose to get it close, not the same. It looks fantastic. I love it. I love it for him. I'm glad that he gets to have that homecoming moment, for himself. I don't care about the merchandise sales. I don't care about it throwing back to my childhood, X, Y, and Z. Like I've been at peace with it since Homestead of 07. I wasn't coming back. I knew it. I was fine with it. But it's a great moment for the fans, a great moment for him more than anything, because I know they've been fighting for that. I know they've wanted that. So that's super cool. And yeah, I mean, that's probably gonna be the hottest merch item, for a long, long time. I know he said he's not gonna, they have no plans to use it. I would love to see that at some point. I hope they deviate on that and they figure something out, because that would be even I would be on board with that. But it's great. It's great. It's a great thing.
Speaking of diecast, those of you who ordered Raja's truck and Tyler Reddick's Jordan scheme, just make sure that Lionel about to get that money. Don't get caught with them overdraft fees. Make sure it's there.
You're not speaking from experience, are you?
Playboy, I went to log into my Lionel account and it said that they were due to be shipped, and I was like, oh shit. But we completely forgot I did that in April.
Man,
he's good. I'm all right.
PSA, just make sure you transfer that money from savings to checking.
Move that thing around however you need to.
Yeah, move that money. Cool. And then it was announced today.
Wow, just fuck me, I guess. All right.
Oh, cool. My bad, Art. Sorry, partner.
Just told me to.
How do you feel about Budweiser and
I hate it now. No,
Thornton.
I mean, I'm excited for, I think this is one of those moments where, this is how you bring back the old school fan that NASCAR is always trying to go after, the lost fan, in a healthy way. You good, bro?
My bad. I thought I'd muted myself. It's all good. Everything's fine.
All right, bro.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, I'm excited for it though. I think it's gonna be a great send off. I feel like Dale's getting up there. I feel like he's only got so many bites at the apple when it comes to getting back in a race car. So for him to get some of them in this scheme that's so iconic, and like Carl said, it's bigger than NASCAR, this scheme, and part of it is the scheme, but I think part of it too is just like the pulling power that Dale Jr. had in the early 2000s. Like you give that scheme to Scott Riggs. Sorry, Scott Riggs, if you're listening, but you give him that scheme, like nobody's remembering it 25 years later. Like,
yeah.
Am I wrong though? Like no one cares.
No,
like, it's really, I think like we're all excited about it, and like I pre-ordered my merch and my diecast and all that, but like I think it's important to reflect on the reason why it's so popular, and it's because of the guy behind the wheel, because he was that guy when it came to NASCAR pop culture. He was in the Dale, not the Dale video. He was in the Jay-Z music video.
Yes.
Like he was on all the standees. Like he was that dude. Like, Jeff Gordon may have had like the media side of it where, like the acting roles and like Looney Tunes and Saturday Night Live and all that. But in terms of like culture or cachet, like Dale Jr. was right there with him. And so, I just think it's important that we recognize that as well, because I just want to make sure we give Dale plenty of his flowers. So it's really cool, though. I'm excited to see it. I'd love to try to get to one of those races if I can. But I wanted to say before we started that For any wrestling fans who are listening, you should be listening to this with the $1 Million Man's theme music playing over, because I know Jerry said we ain't gonna talk about the diecast, but man, just when you think Lionel ain't about to get a Brinks truck pulled up to the shop, like they find a way, bro. You know when I knew Lionel was scheming? When they came out with the Chase Elliott Dale Jr. 2-pack of cars. I was like, man, bro, like y'all.
When they came out with the Hendrick 4-pack of all the red cars from Martinsville, that's how it was a money laundering operation.
Listen, there are some hustlers down there in Charlotte, and I respect the game. I am a victim of the game, but I can still respect it. But man,
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. I don't think Jerry and Carl answered. Well, Carl answered. Since Siki used the number and the scheme, do y'all think Lionel will make y'all know how Lionel made old diecast from old past winners?
I hope so.
Do you think that will happen?
Yes, I hope. I really and truthfully, if they are smart. Now, I'm sure there is probably some other licensing that has to be involved with that, other partnerships and X, Y, and Z. But yeah, NASCAR, I mean, Lionel's been killing it, going back and doing some old race wins. They would absolutely crush it if they went back and did the 2000 Texas win or
04 500 win.
04 500, 06 Richmond, the 04 Chicagoland, the MLB car win,
and the 9/11 win.
9/11 win, yeah.
Definitely the checkers and records 06 Martinsville. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, I mean, because they went back. They went back and they did a bunch of Jeff Gordon wins the last couple of years. So I mean, it's not.
I know it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would love. I hope that is what comes of this. Actually,
same man.
Yeah. So
y'all some fiends.
Shut up.
Shut up, bro.
Can I share my screen?
We ain't trying to hear that. We ain't trying to hear none of that.
We ain't trying to hear that. Gary.
Fiend.
What a great song.
It is. I was trying to.
The theme song for wrestling.
Don't get us kicked off.
No, I'm not gonna get us kicked off. Carl, are you getting ready to have an interlude of sorts before we ask this next question?
Interlude.
It's not like we're live or anything, you know.
It's not like we're live or anything.
Pause the recorder.
It's not like we can get a.
I can't find it. I was gonna
listen. I was just about to say, if one person leaves, if you break out the soundboard, I'm kicking you out the room. So just so you know,
it don't matter because it's gotta be added in anyway.
I'm just saying that
I was trying to find
is gonna kick you out the club.
Whatever.
Carl, have you ever been kicked out the club in real life?
I've been. Yes.
What an auspicious question.
Yeah, I've been kicked out of a comedy club before.
Well, I mean, that's poor job performance. I'm talking about, were you ever drunk and you got kicked out of it?
Just wow.
Nah, I don't go clubbing like that.
Thank you.
I heard over here like Soldier Boy.
I got a little too rowdy at Trans-Siberian Orchestra in 2015, but
that's what it was, huh?
Yeah.
You feeling the vibe a little too much, huh?
Man, I almost
do what?
I almost said someone's gonna get you in trouble.
No, what? By all means, what?
Cut the tape. Cut the tape.
You don't want
no, let it fly. No, let it fly. Let it fly.
Cut the tape.
Let it fly.
I was gonna say, what you repeat what you said? Go ahead, say what you said again.
I said I got a little rowdy at Trans-Siberian Orchestra in 2015, but
so you ended up at the middle school plays.
Wow.
There's nothing wrong with going to a middle school play when your girlfriend is a teacher at said school. I'm supporting my school district, man. I'm giving them money. I don't know about y'all. I don't hate the kids. I love them.
You a PJ sponsor, Big Dog? Is that what it is?
Yeah, man.
I just see Carl try to buy the ice cream, the cookie dough, whatever.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Keep it going, bro.
I just want to be in the back row when someone asks you which kid is yours, and you say none of them.
Oh, none of them.
That's gonna happen too. Knowing my luck is tomorrow. Like someone's gonna be like, "Is this your first time or something like that?" I'm like, "I don't have a kid."
What?
I already know it's gonna happen.
I need someone's gonna hit you with you need to leave.
That's already happened at a volleyball game this year. So,
got you round up at the volleyball game, huh?
Well, yeah, because they were like I don't know what you just said because Jared's tone is so mono that I can very easily filter through it. You know, like it just background noise, like how the adults and the peanuts talk. Like, wah, 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 wah.
Oh, here you go.
Yeah, I went to this. I went to this
he
one
lashing
thing.
out.
I went to one thing, and they were giving away gift bags for the parents or whatever, or something for appreciation, some shit like that. They tried to give me one when I gave the tickets. Because it was at this like really fancy private school, and like I had to give them I had to scan my tickets. They were trying to give me a thank you. I don't know what was in there, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm not a parent. I'm just." And then there was this moment. There was this moment. Yeah, there was this moment where this woman legitimately thought I was just a fan of like middle school girls volleyball, and not in any other way. Yeah, man.
I just appreciate the athleticism, you know. I appreciate good theater.
Man, he a fan.
For context,
that's why I want to do it.
For context, we had debated not doing this episode tonight because Jared was sick. And then Art was like, "Well, Carl, you got plans tomorrow, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I got to go to a middle school play tomorrow." And this nigga hasn't let it go since.
What's the
I don't even know. I haven't even looked. I don't even.
It don't matter. It don't matter. You still
shut up. No, shut up. It's not even. It's not even. Hold on.
Tears in my eyes.
Yeah, how you look at the picture somebody done sent you on an iPhone? I gotta
look. I don't want no pictures, brother. Don't.
Please, for the love of God, I will block you right now.
It's a murder mystery. It's Mystery at the Mansion, an original play. That's what it says, and it's a silent auction, dinner, art gallery, and show. So you know. I'm doing my fucking part. Anyway, what's the last thing we gotta do?
You don't get to move on. I'm gonna finish my point. You're not gonna move on. I did not want to do this. I said don't let me, and you had to get big and bad and say no. Look at you now. Look at you, embarrassed.
Why are you embarrassed?
You on a list anyway?
You gotta turn your lights off for the trick or treaters.
And I got rowdy because at the thing, it had nothing to do with kids. All right, I was fresh at 21. This is 2015, so I was 22, and I had a beer, and it got spilled by this dickhead in front of me, and I was like, "Hey, you dickhead, you spilled my beer." And then the security was like, "Are we cool here?" And I'm like, "Yes," because that was a big white guy. I don't want to get thrown out or beat up. So,
man.
Anyway, all right, get out of here.
Oh man!
Or you have a you want to finish your thought before we move on?
That's it. I just wanted to lambaste him and let him know this was his fault because I tried to let it go and he pushed it. If you take it there, I'll take it further.
All right, time for a history lesson, ladies and gentlemen. So it was announced today. The recognition of Bobby Allison as the official winner of the 1971 Cup Series race at Bowman Gray Stadium. Allison, who drove a Grand American car to victory that day, now counts this win towards his Cup total, bringing him to 85 career wins. Mm-hmm. The question I ask in the year of our Lord, 2024, who the hell brought this up to give this man this trophy all these years later?
Well, they're going to Bowman Gray.
That's crazy this year. That's crazy,
bro. Okay. Anyway, No, I mean they're going to Bowman Gray, and it's always been a little bit of a sore spot. Yeah, I mean people bring that up all the time, or whatever the case may be. So, I think that's why they did it. That's why that way they can talk about it. It's a storyline, going into it or whatever. So I think that's all that they did. But I will say I don't care either way. That's cool. 85 wins, whatever. That's dope. I'm happy for the guy. People are mad about it. Shut up. It was 50 years ago. It doesn't matter either way. It has no bearing on absolutely anything. I will say to the individuals that were so bold to get on Elon Musk's Twitter today, and to get on that South African bastard Twitter today and say, well, they need to give the win back to Reagan Smith. I will hunt you down and run you over with my Ram 1500. I'm not kidding. It's mostly paid for. It's insured.
Oh, God.
I have hit objects that are people sized in a poorly lit parking lot before. I know what to say to the insurance people.
What parking lot was this?
Golden Corral.
Okay.
Can I have the longitude and latitude of that?
No. That's an unfortunate.
Oh, roast the goat.
But Vontae, you're the kind of guy to get
the dangerous
to get Golden Corral to go. Yeah, Vontae been on one. He told somebody earlier to go die. I don't want to. We was in the group chat. I opened the group chat. I meet myself.
Vontae said
dinner. And Vontae, somebody said something to Vontae, and Vontae was like, "When's the funeral, buddy?"
No, he said, "Where's the death certificate?" That's what
Jesus Christ.
Man, you got to be a little different. Can we talk about just for a split second the backstory on why he did not get this win? So anyone listening doesn't know that.
One of my NASCAR historians. That's not me.
Yeah. I forget.
Vontae, do you know the significance behind why he got his chain snatched in 71?
They were in a car that they improved, right?
I don't. I just saw that like an hour ago, but I do not. But Bobby Allison, a legend, obviously. Happy day that he got his win. He won. Then Kyle Busch did his share. That sucks. No, I'm playing. But
what's the significance of
his
winning and Kyle Busch? I'm confused.
People saying on here Bobby Allison won more than Kyle Busch in 2024, but it's a joke, bro.
That's rude as shit.
That's what they were saying. I mean, shit.
Damn, who said that? That's not nice.
I can't remember who said that, but I was like, damn, man, y'all gonna do my goat? Y'all gonna do my goat like that? That's crazy.
I wouldn't take that type of respect sitting down.
No, for real.
That's crazy. All right, are you looking on the Alphabet company's website?
I am. So it seems like the issue was that it wasn't considered the equivalent of like a Cup Series race. So I guess it was the equivalent of like a Busch Series race back then. And so it wasn't considered an official Cup win or wasn't considered like a major race is what the quote I'm seeing here. So yeah, I did not know this story. I'll be honest. I love my NASCAR history, but I did not know the story at all about him not getting this win, and that it was such a big deal that they felt that it was important enough to give it to him at this point. And yeah, I'm sure there's a bit of marketing involved in this decision, right? So the timing is not a coincidence, but you know what? I ranted and raved and fussed about them never giving Wendell Scott his win, and giving him his trophy while he was alive. And, eventually they gave it to his family, which is great. But I'm glad that he got this win while he's still with us. I know he's an older gentleman. I don't know his exact age, but I'm glad that he was able to get it and enjoy it. And not at the same time, like Kale, you had Bobby, you had 85 some odd wins, 84 wins. So it's not like this was a one-off for him. Like he's already an all-time great, but still, I get it. You ran it. You say you won it. The results say you won it. You deserve that. the significance of that, get that tally. But now the real pressure goes to Jimmy Johnson. He's got to get his lick back. He got to dig deep in the well and find something.
Man, is 86 years old.
Jimmy Johnson is not 86 years old.
He's talking about Bobby.
I know.
Jimmy drives.
Do not sit here on Beyonce's internet and repeat what you just said. Do not do that.
I'm just saying. I feel I need Jimmy to come back in time now. So, if Jimmy somehow won at like Daytona, that would be a pretty sweet. I feel like that's the only place he could potentially win.
I keep hoping for it. Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, I kind of need Jimmy just to finish on the lead lap. So let's crawl before we can walk at this point. What a cruel irony. Can you imagine being like 2011 and like Jimmy Johnson's just won 5 straight titles, or you're 2016, Jimmy's just won his 7th title, and you're like, hey, finishing on the lead lap is a good day for him now.
It is insane.
Can you imagine telling someone that and it be true? Like, that's crazy.
Bro, it's annoying, man. I mean, because it's like this is one of the greatest to ever do it. Potentially the greatest of all time. It'll never be topped. Ever. And to people to say like, man, Jimmy sucks so much. It's like, bro, watch your mouth. I get pissed off because we don't make more of a big deal about the fact that this guy 100%. Owns the team and is starting races after leaving and coming back. I'm just like, bro, this is like
stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway. Stupid. Like, who says this dumb shit? Like, Johnson won the greatest of all time, 7-time champion. He talked about he sucked. He's not racing for. He's literally just racing. You're making a big deal about him saying, "Oh, he's like." Shut up, dude. I might want to hear that shit. Shut up.
Yeah.
Sounds so. Shut up. So annoying.
Anyway,
what we got?
All right. Well, we're here. It's Wednesday. It's a race weekend coming up. We can always pick our race runners from the weekend since we have every single vehicle that NASCAR races professionally in Miami. Who you got winning the truck race, Carl?
Corey Haim wins the truck race. Sam Mayer wins the Xfinity race. Tyler Reddick wins the Cup race. Why did I just say Sam Mayer?
I don't know either, but it's live.
It's live. We all heard it.
He's been doing pretty good lately. He can knock it out. It's fine.
Trucks, Raja. Xfinity. I'm gonna say Riley Herbst. Cup, Wallace.
Really hope he gets his second career win. That'd be great to see. He won that one race at Las Vegas, or not that one race. He won that race at Indy this year, his first win. So he needs to get a second.
Whatever Carl said. All right, you go ahead.
That's such a terrible bit, but all right. Anyway,
awful bit. It's awful.
It's just lazy comedy.
It's so funny. Because the context,
it's not. That's the part.
The context of the bit is like I think it was like Indy that he won, and I was like, I'm so glad that he won, got his first career win, and like the group chat got so mad at me, and I was like, no, I was like, he didn't win that race. I was like, so and so won it, and then people were like posting like pictures of the win. I was like, no, that's from that's from Indy Victory Lane. Like he did. I just was like egging him on forever, and then I think finally responded to somebody. Maybe even Jamal, and I responded to him with a picture of like fishing, like line, like hooks and sinker, and then like just like left the chat for the day. It was such a funny bit.
You sure showed us.
Well,
joke's on us. Anyway,
always.
I guess. All right, theater kid. Anyway. I'm going to say Raj for trucks as well because I need him to get to the next round of the playoffs. I need that. I'm going to go Cole Custer. I like Cole a lot this year. I think out of drivers across the 3 series, Cole, my opinion of Cole has changed the most this year from the start of the season till now. Also, he was at wrestling. If y'all don't know or follow, like they're doing some kind of cross promotion with CW, And so he was at a wrestling event, like interfering in the match and like dancing. So if you haven't seen Cole Custer swivel his hips, you should watch it. It's worth a watch. So I'm gonna say the power of pro wrestling propels Stone Cold Cole Custer to a win. And then a cup. I said Reddick earlier, so I'll stick with that. I think Reddick gets it done.
Can I change my pick for Xfinity?
No.
Shut up. I am. Anyways, though, I'm going to choose Cole Custer as well because I really want that NXT paint scheme in Victory Lane, and I want him in Chapter 4. And shut up. Yes, are you and you too, Jared. Anyways, next. Goodbye.
Roger's going to win a truck race. Sheldon Creed wins in Homestead.
He's not winning.
And Tyler's going to win Sunday. Hey, man. Between Sheldon Creed and Parker Kligerman and Ryan Seed, one of these second place champions got to win it sometime.
That man yelled from the bottom of a well, "He is not winning."
What made it so funny was that he sounded like he was halfway down the hallway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like he fell down a well, and that was his last statement before he could hit the water.
Yeah, I think Sheldon gets it done. I think he's gonna go to the Haas factory team on the strong foot. There's 200 of y'all in here. Y'all have any questions for us since we live? Questions, comments, concerns, critiques?
Don't open that up because Jamal's still in here. I have to say something.
I have to open it up. We've made good on time. We've spoken our truths, and now we get to entertain our audience.
I almost got us.
Do not, Arthur. Don't.
If I speak, it's funny because now people actually can see what happens that on
this
camera.
Is how recording goes.
How recordings go.
And Carl banter back and forth.
This is the only way we can get them to show up to work is we have to do it in the middle of the week. Can't get them on a Sunday night.
And you know what we should do?
That doesn't. Whatever.
They should bring back Wednesday night races. That was fun during COVID.
Yeah, it was great. Really great. I say it all the time. Double headers Wednesday night.
Man. The double header, Pocono with the inverted field.
Yeah, with the inverted field. Great idea. That's why we lasted for one season. NASCAR doesn't keep great ideas for long.
What was that, like Tuesday? Like, that was having races during, like, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Man, that was too far.
When the hell did they race on a Tuesday?
Yeah, they were racing Tuesday, too.
In COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah, BJ, you do have a point about Bobby the way he treated Wendell. One of my favorite Wendell Scott stories is a bunch of folks. Tell me if you heard this one before. So a bunch of folks had so I think it's a either 69 or 70 World 600, right? Humpy Wheeler, this great promoter. This is one of my favorite racing stories of all time. But, the other one, both of them are Wendell Scott stories. But anyway, Humpy Wheeler's like, man, wouldn't it be awesome if we gave Wendell Scott, the only colored driver, a competitive car, right? Up until this point, Wendell has been, pulling this car on this tow trailer behind him. As a matter of fact, I think that was one of the years where he was swapping the motor from his race car to his tow truck that he had bought from Richard Petty, if I'm not mistaken. And anyway, so they go to Junior Johnson. They say, Junior, can you give us a car? And they wind up finagling a deal. Junior gives him this old wrecked Charger he had. I mean, just a hunk of shit. And so, of course, everybody's like, oh, he's in this great car. So now he's going to see if he's put up or shut up. Well, Wendell goes out there, and, I mean, he just runs, just dog shit lap times. And everybody in the garage, or a lot of folks, Bobby Allison included, start running their fucking mouths. Oh, we told you he wasn't that good, and then y'all are just promoting this colored boy for X, Y, Z, blah, 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 blah. And if I'm not mistaken, and I might be, it's one of the Allisons. I think it was Bobby. It might have been Donnie, but I think it was Bobby. They go out there, and they make a couple laps in this car. And he comes back and, I mean, runs dog shit too, and he gets out and he tells somebody, one of the Donahues, I think, maybe Waddell Wilson, I forget who he tells this to, but he says that car shouldn't even be on the damn racetrack, going to get somebody killed because it was a piece of shit. And so I always think about that story because, it's I think about that parallel to like 2019 and 2020, and even 21. I'm just like, same sport, all these years removed. But the Allisons, not Sadie and Clifford, but the Allisons were not great people at the time in the way of progression. But I mean, it's a different time then, and whatever. But yeah, that is a story that I always think about too, and everybody tries to talk about, all that kind of good stuff. So anyway,
I thought you were going to tell the Up the Blick story.
I love that story.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, so just for historical purposes, if anybody ever listens to it, gets this far in the episode, so the year is, God, I don't know, 59, maybe 60 something, very early on in Wendell's career, and he's still racing. It's not even a sportsman division. It's some local dirt deal, and I can't remember exactly what it was. But anyway, this one old boy, I want to say it's Rex White, but I know it's not. This one old boy, for like every week, is just wrecking the shit out of Wendell. I mean, just straight up. And of course, the officials are just not getting involved. They don't see nothing, X, Y, and Z, that's other kinds of stuff. And Wendell at the time in this lower series actually ran really well. He won some races in this division and stuff like that. They were some dope dirt track deal, whatever. As a fact, the car from this story is what inspired the Wendell Rivers character from Cars 3. I forgot what his actual full name is, but anyway. So one day Wendell Scott says enough's enough, and so they're up under pace laps. And you have to understand, this is segregated Jim Crow South this is happening in, right? And Wendell Scott pulls up alongside this old boy and looks him dead in the eye and holds a revolver up. Doesn't point it at him, just holds it up and waves around at the guy. And they never had a problem again. And I love that story so much. Whenever people try to feed me this BS about Wendell did it the right way, he wasn't aggressive, he wasn't controversial, he was kind, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, Wendell was very quick to up and pull that switch on him, just like some of these YNs today would. So don't get it twisted. Yeah, don't get it twisted. So there's a bunch of other good stories.
For historical purposes, we interviewed Warwick Scott. See if you want to go back and listen to that full episode. If you want a history lesson on Wendell, he got a little bit more graphic than Carl just did, but you can find that in the archives from this season.
You're right. Warwick did tell that. Warwick did tell that story. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I wasn't there for that one, but I remember that. Yeah.
Wish I was there. That was cool.
Yeah. BJ, there's a book it's a partial autobio written by one of his sons, in part with one of his sons. I forget the name of it. I've read it several times now, and I can't think of the name of it, but it's a very good one. It's Anyway, I'll look it up and I'll post it on Twitter after this. But it's very good. And there's a lot of great stories in there about the character of that man, and a lot of good stuff. And honestly, a lot of parallels to what Raj and LeVar Scott and Bubba have all dealt with. Even Bill Lester have dealt with. So anyway, that's all I got.
Anyone else have anything else? I feel like BJ's the only one in the chat.
That's fine.
Interacting. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I think some YN with some switches got to Jamal's internet is what he's.
It's none of my business. None of my business.
Oh man. Yeah. Oh man.
Take us home, Jared. Take us out of here, please.
All right. Well, appreciate y'all for coming by. You can find the playback of this on our YouTube channel. I forget the name of our YouTube. I think it's Victor Lane Vibes Podcast. And also on our Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music.
One job.
Wherever you find us. I have lots of jobs for this, sir. None of them
involve
you and your back talk, homie.
Whatever.
I need to give you a job.
Get him.
You need to pull some weight. Co-host.
I thought
Mr.
you
Runoff.
I thought you said you need to pull some weight, ho, and I was like, oh.
I'm about to say,
Jesus.
Right. You know, I can't mess with Monte today. He missed a truck stick now.
King Henry over here.
King Henry.
What the? You know, end the show, please.
I'm trying. Thank you all for participating. We will see you guys post Homestead. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, tell your mammy, tell your Grammy, listen to us. We might have one more giveaway before the season's over. We might have to re-give something big. I think I want to give it away for Christmas. For the
let me just say, if you know that you're gonna follow a podcast that's doing a giveaway, and we say we're gonna DM you, and then we DM you and we say, hey, we got a giveaway for you, and I see that you've read the DM, reply. I'm mailing it to you for free.
Yeah, you're not paying postage, you're not paying shipping. Shout out to our boy in Jamaica. We paid postage for Jamaica.
It sure enough did.
And he's ecstatic.
You getting all that stuff?
Huh?
Anyway, I just had to get that off my chest because I was like, that's crazy how you just not gonna
crazy.
No,
you're gonna read it but not pick up the line.
No, I was going off for a statement. I'm like, you want nice stuff? Respond to the message.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna go live after Phoenix. I think we should give it away then. We're gonna I said it on the most recent episode, but we're going live to celebrate the end of the season. We're gonna make beverages, so we're gonna come inebriated, and it's gonna be fun. Bring some water, bring your drink with us, have a good time, and win some metal. Because Art's the metal goat. As you can see, I got Fishy behind me. He's the goat when it comes to the illegal contraband that we're not supposed to have, since NASCAR owns the rights, properties, and intellectual things to these next gen cars. So
I got Bill in the room. Thanks to him.
I've hidden my IP address. You can't find me NASCAR. You can try, but would you always say that I'm faster than accountability? Would you tell me
I said accountability is fast, but you are faster.
You damn straight.
Yes, sir.
VPN, IP hidden. You can't get this. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. We're going to promote a little bit more on our Twitter page. But yeah, let's give away that sheet metal.
Yeah, I got Art Gaming Bell. Yes, sir.
Like, comment, subscribe if you're not already doing it. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Make sure you check out our partners over at homefieldapparel.com and check out our newest partner, Nectar Sunglasses. You can save 15% on both sites. Victory Lane Vibes is our promo code for Nectar. VLV24 is our promo code for Homefield. It works on the NASCAR stuff. It works on the collegiate apparel stuff. It works on the socks. It works on the t-shirts. It works on everything. So appreciate y'all for coming and hanging out with us, and we will see you on Sunday.
We'll see you.
See y'all.
I'm gonna go race.
You gonna lose?
Yeah.
Didn't you lose this morning?
Yeah.
Did you try?